Hey girl, welcome to the Phee Show where it's phenomenal vibes only. We are here with this episode with none other than our medical doctor, Iya the Medic. That's her screen name, but we call her Dr. Esther. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, who is Esther beyond the white coat, before the recognition?
Right.
Who is Esther?
Right. So, Esther is a passionate young woman. I think I've always been very ambitious. Esther is a go-getter. Anything that she puts her mind to, she gets it done. I'm a family person. I have 3 siblings that I cherish so much. God being so good, my parents are also alive. So, yes. I love my family so much. Again, Esther loves to help people. And so I do a lot of philanthropy. I run an NGO. It's called Iya Foundation for African Leaders. Iya is just my name, Esther Yesuto Agbozo. So I have a team. We work together to support young people. Our goal is to groom young people and equip them in the skills of leadership, entrepreneurship, career development, and then health. So we've done a couple of projects, and then we are looking to do more in the coming future. So I think, basically that's Esther.
That's amazing. So before the white coat, tell us some of the silent battles you faced. Medical school, how was it like before that white coat went on?
Right.
Yeah.
I think I always say that I almost am not able to tell my story without crying, because my journey has been tough. It has not been easy at all. I'm not a DB. I was not born into a rich family. Well, my dad made a choice which I think affected all of us. My dad used to be an electrical engineer at Ashanti Gold Mines. So I think we're doing okay. So he decided that he wanted to leave all that and become a pastor, right? Full-time ministry. So he had to sacrifice all the money he had, all the goodies we're enjoying. And then we're sent to the north. So we started from the Upper East region. We stayed there for 6 years. Then we moved to the Volta region. Then we moved to the West East. I think I've roamed all over Ghana because of my dad, right? And
so just changing schools and
losing your friends, having to start all over again. It's been tough. And a lot of people usually believe that pastors' kids have some form of privilege. I don't think I experienced it anyway, because my family has been through it. We've seen it all. Days that we did not even have food to eat, days that we do by force fasting. It's not like we plan to fast that day, but there's no food to eat, so you have to fast. I remember as young as I was maybe 6 or 7, we were hawking items on the street before we could survive. So my journey has actually been very difficult. And when I came to medical school, it was not any different. I remember when admissions came. I went to WASI, I had 8.8, I was excited. I thought I was going to get into medical school, easy.
Yeah, with easier.
And then we did the exams, we did the interview, and it came and they had given me fee paying. And I knew my parents did not have the money, right?
Yeah.
So I remember when I saw the email, I just went to my room. I knew I was not going to school, so I started crying.
Oh, wow.
And then my mom has always been optimistic. My mom has always been bragging about me becoming a doctor. So she was like, oh, Esther, you're going to go to the school. I knew when I had that it won't happen, because I knew they didn't have the money. But then miraculously, one of the head pastors at the time had heard that I had done so well with my WASI, and he decided to pay for my first year. So I entered the medical school. Then he was moved to a different place. So now from second year to 6th year, it was a battle. But because of God's grace and the kindness of some very benevolent people, sometimes when my colleagues are just focusing on, learning the stuff, my medical school is very difficult already.
Yeah.
And then some of us had to now combine it with having to raise money to pay our fees, running around to survive and all that. But by the grace of God, we did it and we are here.
You did it.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. So, can you describe a moment in your life where you felt, unseen or overlooked?
Right. I think that that would mainly be with maybe my NGO. I think that over the years, I started way back in 2021. I think over the years, we've done a lot of work. And sometimes, even though that we did not set out to necessarily be recognized, we set out to make impact and touch the lives of other people because of what we have experienced. Sometimes it's just beautiful when people appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah.
a couple of times people would nominate you for awards and then they will tell you that people should vote. Once you tell me that people have to vote for me to win an award, I forget about it. Because I believe that if you are going to award me for doing something good, it should be based on merit, not based on how many of my friends have money to vote for me to win, right? And so sometimes you would wish that people would see the good work that you are doing and then you'll be motivated. I always say that my team, we've not had any rich person or any influential person call us and say, oh, Esther, you guys are doing an amazing job. You are giving books to students for free. You are building school decks for free. You've motivated communities to put up school buildings. You are organizing seminars. You guys should just take this amount of money and continue doing the work they are doing. Nobody has done that. I don't know if it's going to happen tomorrow or even today. Nobody has ever done that. And sometimes I just wish that somebody would see the effort and the work that we put in, the passion with which we do the work, and say that, oh, you guys, maybe I'm even, organizing a program. You guys should just talk about the things that you do so that other people would also be motivated to do same. Yeah.
I mean, I understand you totally. It rises to my next question. What's your story? What you just said just took me aback, but it brings me to the misconceptions people have of women in medicine, especially women in faith. How can you speak to that?
Right. I think that a lot of people believe that women in medicine, I mean, before you can end up in medicine, you have to be smart. There are no two ways about it. Right. So people believe that women in that particular category, I think the first misconception is that we are proud. Yes. And I think that people misinterpret confidence sometimes or pride.
Yes.
I think there's a very thin line between someone being very confident and the person being proud. So sometimes when people think that you are confident, you know what you're doing, you are outspoken, they begin to think that you are proud. And I think we've all been brought up in a society where women are usually, behind the curtains or behind the scenes. And so once a woman is out there and doing things that before was deemed to be done by men, people begin to see her in a particular light, that she will not be humble. When we talk about the institution of marriage, we'll say she cannot be submissive. I think these are very serious misconceptions that are out there. And then when it comes to medicine and faith, again, usually I say that sometimes when I see patients in the hospital, I wonder, do our patients think that we, the doctors, we worship God, like I have gods under my bed or something? Because most of them don't actually think that we believe in God.
Yes.
Right? And some of them think
that we are so full of ourselves.
They think that we compare ourselves to God or something. Truth of the matter is, we the doctors, we know
that there's
a lot that we cannot even come close to God at all. At all. But then when you are talking to the patient, sometimes they don't see it like that. I just wish they would appreciate that we, the doctors, we actually good. Some of us are very staunch Christians, and we love our faith so much.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I mean, you can't force people to believe.
You can't force people to believe.
So
you
just do what you have to do, and then leave the rest.
That's so true. I've also experienced that a number of times where people, I'm telling you a diagnosis, and you're like, God forbid.
They make you look like you are the devil.
Yeah, I'm like, God forbid. I'm like, okay. I am telling you what the diagnosis is.
Yes.
You choose what to do with it.
Yes.
If you are also a Christian, you use that name or the diagnosis to pray. But I'm not giving you a death sentence. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing.
Right.
And it becomes a battle. But I mean, I've seen your work around when it comes to teenage pregnancy, abortions, and miscarriages. Yeah, I mean, apart from the clinical aspect, what toll do you see behind the scenes? How does it affect people emotionally?
It's crazy. You see, when we talk about teenage pregnancy, I think that any platform that I sit on, I'll keep saying that the men who actually get teenage girls pregnant, shame on you. And I'll continue to say it. Every platform that I sit on, if you're a man and you are involved in any form of sexual activity with a teenager, shame on you. So you decide to repent. I think you should repent. Because these are kids, right? They are still growing. They know nothing. And if you decide to take advantage of their innocence or their vulnerability and then they get pregnant, come on, they are not even ready to have kids. When you come to the labor ward, sometimes I look at these young girls and I ask myself, what did these men see?
What did they see?
What did they see?
Because they had a
some of them are so smallish. It's not like they have any goods or anything anywhere that you think that would make them attractive. So I keep wondering, what did these men see? And it doesn't make any sense. And then they will come to the labor ward and they will be crying. Some of them don't even have money to buy medication. They have no family. Their families have abandoned them. Sometimes we have to put our money together to buy baby clothes for them, to buy Pampers for them. And it's really sad. And I keep asking myself, so as she's leaving the hospital, what is going to happen to her and then this innocent baby that has been born? Right? And so we've started a cycle of a lot of emotional damage, a lot of poverty. We've started a cycle of poverty because this young girl is not working. And now she has a baby to take care of. Taking care of babies, even those who are working are struggling. Right? So if this young girl doesn't have a source of livelihood and she has to take care of a baby, that's serious. Then when we look at the miscarriages, you know, in our society, a lot of women see childbirth as a big achievement, right? I have always said that I don't think we should put it so much on a pedestal because it puts a lot of toll on people, that once women are unable to have kids, they begin to think that they are not complete or they are not whole. I don't think it should be like that. But unfortunately, our society has designed all of us to believe that once you get married, the next thing is kids, right? So when women are unable to carry a pregnancy to term and then they have a miscarriage, it takes so much toll on them mentally. And unfortunately, again, in our part of the world, nobody likes to talk about mental health. It seems like it's a taboo, right? And people usually think that people with mental health challenges are overdoing it or something. But somebody just lost a baby. They've lost a part of them, right? And so it's very, very emotionally draining. And I think that that's a period that people should be very kind and very supportive because it's a difficult time for people. As for the abortion bits, I don't want to, before my dad will call me and say that, hey, Esther, what did you go and see on that show? Anyways, but, you know, it was when I was doing my ONG rotation that I realized that I think maybe just 10% of Ghanaian women have not done abortions.
Really? The numbers are crazy.
I am not joking. Sis, I'm not joking. You know, when we take the book, the pregnancy, we have to write the gravidity and the parity. You understand because you're a doctor. So we read the number of times the person has been pregnant, and then the pregnancy they aborted. Almost everybody has aborted a pregnancy.
But some lie. When it comes to consulting, they lie.
Yes, a lot of them lie. And see, even with the lies, everybody's book, almost everybody else. I'm like, hey, Ghanaian women. And yes, we all sit in the church and we look like angels. We behave like, when you hear that somebody's done an abortion, the way they would chastise the person, I'm like, see, it was when I entered the labor ward I realized that a lot of Ghanaian women are liars. We can literally count the few people who have not done abortions, and it's not even funny. So I think that for those of us in the medical field, even medically, sometimes women are allowed to have an abortion. We've said that if it is a threat to the mother's life or the baby that's going to be born is going to have a problem, it's allowed that the woman has an abortion. So depending on the circumstances, I think that abortions should be tolerated. But when you look at it with the spiritual lens, the spiritual people would say that you are committing murder, right? And so I think that whoever is involved, you would have to weigh both sides,
analysis
right? And then talk to God yourself. I believe that God listens to all of us. So you may want to do your own consultation with God, and whatever God tells you is best for you, you go for it.
That's amazing. So for a young lady out there listening to us who is struggling with sexual immorality, shame, and silence, what would you have for her? Right.
I always say that I believe that anybody can change, anybody can become better. It starts with you, the person. First, acknowledging that there's a problem, you know, as part of the solution. So if you've realized that maybe you are going through a cycle of sexual immorality, shame, guilt, and you want to come out of it, you first have to acknowledge that you have this problem. Then you begin to ask yourself, what are the avenues of help that are available to you, right? Once you know the avenues of help, then you need to seek help. A lot of people try to fight their battles by themselves, but I always say that I believe God put all of us in families, in communities, in churches, in schools, gave us friends because he knows that at some point in our lives, we would need someone to help us. So when you need help, it's important that you begin to seek help. So for any young girl out there, all I'm going to say is that just believe that there is help available for you and make sure that you make the first move to get help.
Yeah, that brings me to my next question. I don't know if it's a misconception or it's just not spoken about enough, the kind of emotional trauma and mental health challenges that doctors face, you know, whilst you're helping others heal. Have you ever experienced that before?
So many times. Sometimes you are going through it yourself,
and you have to,
and you still have to show up and help other people. I've had it so many times. Sometimes, because most of my friends know that I do mental health advocacy, everybody, when they have a mental health problem, will reach out to me. Oh, Esther, I have problem ABC. Oh, Esther, my sister has. Sometimes I myself, I'm going through it. Maybe at that particular point in time, I don't even feel like talking to anybody, but somebody has come to me with a problem. So sometimes you have to be selfless enough to put your problems aside and help the person. I remember just last month, I had been invited to a church to talk about mental health. And that very day I was supposed to go and do the talk. During the day, I received an email which was very heartbreaking, because I was expecting something big to happen for me, and it did not happen. So I was heartbroken. I was literally crying, and I texted my big sister. My big sister was the one who got the invitation for me. So I texted, I was like, sis, I honestly don't think I can go and talk about mental health when I myself, I'm not mentally sane, right? And then she was like, Esther, I think you can do it. And I still went and I did the mental health talk, and it went very well. Nobody would even know something was wrong with me, but I knew deep down that I was going through it, right? So those times are there when you yourself, you are not up to speed, but you still have to show up for other people. Yeah.
When did your calling shift from just being a doctor to becoming a voice in media and public health?
Right. I think that I have always loved public speaking. I think maybe growing up with my dad being a pastor to may be part of it. Because usually in church, you'd always be asked to either do one Bible quotation or act a play or something.
Yeah.
And then I always did debating in SHS and all that. So when I went to medical school, we did a debate. It was a psychiatry debate where we're comparing physical and mental health. So during my research for that debate, I realized that there was a lot of gap when it came to treatment and also knowledge base for mental health. So I said I was going to start mental health advocacy. So this is way back in 2020, right? So 2021 was when I actually hit it off properly. And at the time, I had a vision for a TV show. So I remember that my sister and I had put together a proposal for a TV show in 2021. We went to every TV channel we could go to. Everybody said no.
Wow.
Right. And so we put the proposal somewhere. We had to move on with our lives. Then when we launched the NGO, we were still reaching out to some TV channels, hoping that at some point somebody would say, oh, you guys should come and actually do your mental health show. But again, it still didn't happen. But we kept going. And then I ended up in church. The leader of my medical team, she's called Dr. Gifty. Shout out to Dr. Gifty. Dr. Gifty kept telling me that, as a very outspoken person, I'm going to put you on TV. She would usually say it and I'll laugh at her, right? I didn't take it seriously. So one day I was at the mall and then she called me. She's like, oh, Esther, GTV wants a doctor to come and talk about sexual health. Are you up for it? And I was like, when is it? She's like, tomorrow. So she was telling me like 5 p.m. that day. She's like, I'm supposed to be on set at 6 a.m. the next day. And I thought about it and I was like, okay, Esther, this could actually be an opportunity, right? So I said, okay, no problem. They should send me the synopsis. I looked at it. I was like, okay, this is not far-fetched. I think I should be able to do it. So I took the synopsis, I looked at it, and then I went and I did it. And I think sometimes the grace of God comes in.
Various ways.
Yes, God's favor comes in. Because when I did that episode, it was supposed to be a one-time episode. But what happened was that the producer said that in a very long time, they had not had a lot of engagement on their health segment.
No.
But for some reason, that day they had so much engagement. People liked the way I was addressing the issue, because we were talking about sexual health. Yeah. And people don't like to talk about it. Everybody thinks it's a taboo. But I was talking about it without filters, right? I remember by the time I was done, my friends would send me shots from some bloggers. I remember, is it Sika Official? He had posted a very funny caption. So all my friends said, Esther, you are trending. Esther, you are trending. I was like, I thought it was supposed to be a small show or something. So that was how it started. Then the producer said he liked how it went, so he wants us to continue. So now every week he would have me come on the show and they would do a segment. Then I think other TV channels so I'd also seen. So I've been on GTV. I have a very long-standing relationship with them. I think this actually has been actually 1 year, because it started in August last year.
Oh, that's amazing.
Then I've been privileged to go to TV3 as well, and then MX24 TV, and a couple of radio stations. I think that's just how it started.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So from your experience with, when you started with the mental health advocacy, can you instantly tell the difference between a woman who is healed and someone who is just hiding her pain?
The truth of the matter is that you can't tell instantly. right? Because like you said, there are people who are very good with hiding their pain, right? There are people who are going through it, but you have no idea, right? And so sometimes before you can tell if somebody's healed or if they're hiding it, you may have to have a one-on-one personal conversation with the person, and it would boil down to the person actually being open, vulnerable enough, and then truthful. Because if the person chooses not to tell you the truth you can't tell if they're actually going through something or not. The truth of the matter is that sometimes you can read people's body language, you can read people's facial expressions.
Maybe it's a trust issue, don't you think?
Yes, a lot of women who are dealing with pain have some trust issue, and the truth of the matter is that sometimes people don't even know if they're telling you the information is going to stay with just you, or if somebody else is going to find out.
Maybe to be confidential enough.
Yes, exactly.
Professional enough to keep.
Yes. But I think that for we medical people, we are bound to be very confidential. And I mean, if you move outside of that confidentiality, the patient has every right to even sue you.
Yeah.
Because they've trusted you with information that nobody else should know. So I have friends who have come to me and told me very serious matters. Sometimes we're in a group of friends, right? And one person has told me something and it relates to the other person, but I can never open my mouth and tell the other person because I know that, no, this person brought confidential information. As much as the other person is also my friend. And so this person tells me that, Esther, you should tell this person. I can't tell you. Right, and so there are people that they may be going through things, but if they never open up to you, you may not find out. But for women who have gone through the healing process, healing takes time. And for everybody, it is different. Someone may take a short time, someone may take a very long time to heal, right? And depending on the support systems that are also available, all those things come to play. If somebody is healed, she should be able to look in the mirror every day, smile, and believe that she's whole, right? Or she's fulfilled, right? But for someone who is dealing with something, you yourself, when you wake up every day, in as much as you are putting on a facade that you are okay, you know deep down that everything is not okay, right? And I think that I always say that there is a lot of help available unless you're not looking for it, right? So if you know that you're going through something, I think I would encourage you to get help. There is so much help available.
Well, how do you think a woman who has been through a sexual trauma, like has been traumatized sexually, how do you think it affects them in their purpose and, appreciating who they truly are if it's unresolved?
Yes, sexual trauma is... women who go through sexual trauma, like you said, a lot of them would have what we call the identity crisis. They don't even know who they are anymore. Some of them begin to see themselves as different people. Some of them will begin to have feelings of shame and guilt. And I think that for anybody who has experienced any form of sexual trauma, first, you need to understand that it is not your fault. I always say that regardless of a woman's dressing, whether she was dressed decently or indecently, it does not give anybody permission to sexually traumatize her. Right, and so for anybody who has gone through any form of sexual trauma, first you need to understand that it is not your fault, because most of them blame themselves for the rest of their lives. They will think that if I had done this differently, if I had not done that, maybe this wouldn't have happened. But you need to first accept that it's not your fault and stop blaming yourself. Then a lot of them to begin to have a shift in their, purpose, because they begin to wonder, for instance, if the person is a very religious person and maybe this person was keeping themselves till they get married, right? Maybe they haven't planned to get married to a pastor, then somebody has sexually traumatized them. Then they begin to think, I'm not more pure enough to even be this spiritual vessel that I want to be. So if the person was maybe purpose to become maybe a minister or a preacher, they begin to think that they are not clean enough to become that. So they may not become a preacher just because of what happened to them. That's why I keep saying that once people go to any form of trauma, they need to get help. Until you're able to get help and you're able to heal from it, you may not be able to go back.
You keep saying get help. I'm sure someone is like wondering
what the help is.
What exactly do you mean by get help? Am I going to tell my pastor? Am I going to tell my spiritual mother? Who am I going to talk to?
Right. When it comes to help can come in various forms, right? So it can be, like you said, your spiritual leaders. That's why we have spiritual leaders. So it has to, I always say, it has to start with somebody that you trust, right? So some people, not everybody is comfortable waking up and walking to the hospital that I want to see a psychologist or a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Not everybody. Some people believe in their pastor.
It's a lot of money. They are not going to do
yes.
that.
Some people believe in their pastor even more than they believe in we the doctors, right? Regardless of what is wrong with them.
Yeah.
So if you think that the one person who can actually help you is your pastor, and you trust this person enough to hold on to this information, I keep saying that the person should be such that if a gun is held to their head, they are not going to spill your information, right?
I don't know.
If you trust the person that much, right, then you can let the person know that ABCD has happened. A lot of people don't even tell anybody what has happened at all. Sometimes,
because I've experienced some with the shame. I
Yes.
think people, they are even though it wasn't their fault and it might have been a sexual assault or something, they are just ashamed.
yes,
So ashamed to even tell. I had an incident like that. So ashamed to even tell their parents, right? Not to talk of, because it was an internal thing. The assault was from another relative.
Oh.
So how do I tell my mom or my caregiver that do you understand? Someone that close
actually
has molested me.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a whole family drama, and then you're isolated. And what if they take the side of your uncle and not you? I mean, you get it.
I get it. It's
something. It's very dicey.
It's very dicey, especially in our part of the world. I think that in the Western world, it's usually easier for people to be able to get help and get the perpetrators, to pay for their actions. But in our part of the world, even when you go in, I remember we did a screening one time. We added mental health screening, and there was this young girl. Her cousin was abusing her. Her grandmother, they are both living with her grandmother. Her grandmother is aware. And then whenever the girl tells her that the cousin did ABCD, the grandmother beats the girl instead.
Why?
So the cousin who is the perpetrator is walking around free. The grandmother is like, she should not even open her mouth and say
yeah, I've experienced that. People have said that.
Yes, she should not even open her mouth
don't
and say
say that.
Yes.
Don't go and disgrace us in public.
Yes.
Why are you saying this?
Yes. So unfortunately, in our part of the world, that is the reality that we have to deal with. And it's sad. I think that we need a serious paradigm shift, especially for those of us in Africa. We need a serious,
especially when it comes to
change in our mindset.
Sexual health, and then
and mental health issues. We need a serious change of mindset, because people are going through it, right? And then help again can be on the professional level. So there are people who have dedicated their life to help other people's mental health. So we have our clinical psychologists, we have our psychiatrists, we have the psychiatric nurses. So there's professional help on all levels. So if there is nobody in your family who wants to listen to you, if you enter the hospital, there is somebody who is obligated to listen to you, whether they want to listen to you or not. Right? That's their job. And
they are accountable by law to keep it confidential.
Keep it confidential, right? So if there is nobody in your family, nobody in your church that you can trust, go to the hospital. You find somebody to talk to. They will listen to you. They don't have a choice, right? And then they will offer you the help, professional help that you need. Because a lot of people, when it comes to trauma, sometimes you have to go back to the process, how it happened, right? And then you break it down gradually, and then you tell them. So you are a medical, so you know about CBT. So sometimes you try to let the person change the way they think. Because when it comes to mental health, a lot of things are linked to how we think, how we feel, and then how we behave, right? So if you can change how the person is thinking, it will affect how they are feeling. The mindset, exactly. So there are people who have learned how to do these things for people. So if there's nobody in your family or in your church who can help you, go to the hospital.
That's
simple
amazing.
As that.
I mean, you've been on TV for quite some time, like you're saying. What's one thing that you wish you could say raw or unfiltered here on the Phee Show?
You want them to beat me? But
feel free. I said, here's a safe space.
What would that be? I think I would say that everybody should mind their business.
Drink water and mind your business. Period.
Seriously. A lot of the pressure on us in this world or in this country is because everybody's not minding their business. How is it your business that somebody has gotten married, the person has not given birth yet? How is it your problem that I've not married yet? How is it your problem that somebody will say, hey, dog, when are you buying a car? I'm like, do you know how much is in my bank account? Why is it your problem that I'm a doctor and I'm not driving? Why is it your problem? I don't understand.
Everybody should just mind their business.
Mind your business.
Drink water and mind your business.
Simple. It will save all of us a lot of headache. To save all of us a lot of drama and a lot of headache. Believe me. Yeah.
That's amazing. So what role would you say Grace has played in your life as, a woman who is in medicine, lifestyle, everything? How has Grace played out? You being a doctor and all.
I don't think I can talk about any bit of my life without grace. It's been grace from the beginning
To the
now.
very end.
I think that, like I said in the beginning, even though the journey has been difficult, every step of the way, God always came through. Every step of the way. There were times where I felt like, okay, this is it, you know, it's not going to happen. Then miraculously, help always comes. So the grace of God, I would say, that has personally been with me from the very beginning, right from when I was a child. Because I think that how you are positioned even as a child shapes you to who you can become. So even though I'm not excited that my dad sacrificed his job as an electrical engineer to become a pastor, when we moved to the north, the sort of teachers that we had, I remember we had teachers in the house who would come and teach us. And those teachers gave us the foundation. All my siblings, there is nobody who is not smart. If you are not smart, it's your fault. Because the foundation was solid, right? Because of those teachers that we had in the north. So you can see that even though we did not start from maybe Accra or Kumasi or a big city, and at the time we were living in Obuasi and we moved all the way to the north, God still made it such that we had those teachers who made sure that our foundation was solid. And all through JHS, SHS, medical school. I remember JHS, there will be times where, you know, things are so hard in the house and you know that, oh, you don't have money for fees. And I remember one time, I was just in class, they brought me a receipt for my school fees. To date, I don't know who paid that school fees.
Wow.
I have no idea. To date, I don't know who paid. Someone had just paid my fees and they brought me the receipt. And I went when I showed it to my mom. Dad was like, I didn't come and pay your fees. My mom said, I didn't come and pay your fees. So today, we all don't know who paid. Right? And so sometimes, even when we don't like the process, God always makes help available for us. I believe that grace has been a very, very big part of my journey. Yeah.
That's amazing. So what gives you hope when the stories that you hear about people are so devastating, like, and the systems you work in feel so heavy? What gives you hope?
I think that the only thing that I would say gives me hope is the inner feeling that I have that there are other people out there who think like me, right? Because I think I've met a few other phenomenal young people who have also set out to make a difference in their world. And I think it gives me hope when I see other young people doing, you know, big things. I've had other friends who have also equally started big organizations and they're helping people. It gives me hope, in as much as we find ourselves in a world where we always complain about the sort of leadership that we have. I always say that rather than complain about our leaders, ask yourself, the one complaining, you, what have you done for your community? If you've not done anything, I don't think you have the right to point fingers at anybody. And you can't tell me that it's because you are not rich yet. Me, I'm not rich. My father is not rich. But the sort of things that we've done for other people is just because we have some passion and we know you are not even rich. You should be, you know, more passionate because you know what it feels like to have nothing. So you should be more moved to help other people. So I think that one of the few things that gives me hope is seeing other young people out there who are like-minded. And I know that even though sometimes it looks like it's a hopeless situation for Africa, but I think there's still a lot of hope because we have a lot of great minds who are doing a lot of amazing work. Yeah, just to see that Africa's development is advancing.
That's amazing. Before we end, what would you tell, you know, any young woman who is in medical school, you know, going through the ropes, she's feeling a bit down, and then she just chances on your video?
Right.
You know, what would you tell her? She's like, right now she's in medical school, she's like, Charlie, from the studying to the personal life, not having, sometimes you don't even have friends. You can't even have a relationship. Like, you don't have a life when you're in medical school. What would you say to someone like that?
Medical school is I keep saying it's a ground of torture. I think only those of us who have been through it can understand, right? But for any young woman who is in medical school, believe me, you will finish that school. Even if it's going to take you 8 years, 10 years, you finish the school. That's the truth of the matter. So you just have to keep it at the back of your mind and I keep saying that sometimes you may have to go back to the driving force. I know there are a few people who did not even want to go to medical school, and either their parents forced them or one circumstance or another led them to be in medical school. Those of us who always wanted to be doctors when we were kids, we got tired, you know. Those of us that during the interview we say, oh, I'm passionate about saving lives. At the point we realized that, Charlie, the thing is not on the ground.
Yeah.
We were tired. So I can imagine what somebody who did not want to go to medical school at all is going through. But just keep it at the back of your mind that when you are done with that training, whether you want to practice in the hospital or not, whatever skills that you are acquiring in medical school will make a difference in a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
The way you begin to think, the way you begin to relate to other people, the way you begin to, the relationships that you form or the friends that you keep, okay? It will all come from a lot of the knowledge and then the connections that you've built from medical school. A lot of the things that I'm able to do is because of people that I met in school. In fact, I'm on this show because I went to medical school. The person who told you about me, I met him in medical school, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're able to build a lot of connections in medical school, when you are done, whether you're going to practice or not, just believe that you've built yourself a lifetime of connections and great friends.
That. She said whether you're going to practice or not.
Yes.
Trust me, it's not everybody that goes to medical school and start practice.
Yes.
That's a topic for another
day. Yes.
Trust me.
So whether you're going to practice or not, you are still going to build valuable relationships.
Yeah.
You meet lecturers who would become your destiny helpers. You meet people who would help your life in so many ways. And sometimes you may just need somebody to put in just one phone call, and that person may be somebody you met in medical school.
Yeah.
So no matter how hard it is, just keep going. No matter how hard it is, just keep going.
No.
And always remember to involve the grace of God. Me, I finished medical school because of the grace of God. I remember when I was in final year, I tell this story a lot. When I was in final year, everybody thought that, even I myself, we're supposed to finish in November. And then I had to take a trip to Germany. So I was given an ultimatum that because I wanted to travel to Germany, I won't finish in November. I'll finish in March the next year.
Wow.
And I had actually accepted that was my fate. And my mom kept saying, Esther, you're finishing school in November. My mom has so much faith. And she said, you finish school in November. I kept laughing at her. I'm like, are you the dean just gave me an ultimatum? Is it that you didn't understand what I said or not? And then I went to Germany and I came back. And I still finished the school in November.
Wow.
God just aligned things, So believe it. However hard it is, however rough your journey may have been, you can finish it. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And our final question, when all is said and done, all these cameras, lights, action, what impact would you want to have made on earth?
I think that when I'm gone one day, we're all going to go. When I'm gone one day, I think that I just want people, not say the general public, individuals, to tell their stories and mention my name. That because I met Dr. Esther, my life changed. Or because I met Dr. Esther, this happened in my life. There are people that I cannot tell my story without mentioning their names.
Yeah.
Because they did something significant.
Yeah.
So when I'm gone, I want to have those individual people who would say that just because I encountered this young woman, something different happened in my life. And I want them to have a lasting memory, a good lasting memory of me.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming to the Phee Show. We have something special for you.
Okay.
For accepting to be on our show.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice.
It's yours.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
welcome.
I really appreciate it.
Yes, you can decide to
that's so
open it, you
beautiful.
can decide to keep it. It's entirely up to you.
Can I open? I should open in my house.
Whichever you decide.
I'll open in my house before my kids would start hijacking whatever is inside.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
So this has been our episode with Dr. Esther. You can call her AM Medic. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this impacted you just as much as it did to me. Don't forget to share this video, like, and subscribe to our channel. Bye.